Hello Guardian, this Carpenoct is here and I hope you're doing well. So in this video we spoke about kind of the state of game pre-Edge of Fate, and I forgot to tell you that now they are adding this thing where second and fourth seasons of the year or second of each half DLC are free to play, which is great. But now let's speak about game state post Edge of Fate and what they need to fix, because this game state it's not the best. So they said in the recent tweet that they're listening, but to who? That's the question, because it's probably not the player base. We need to change and address some stuff, Bungie. So let's make level in general faster and less grind, because this is a game that's fantastic and known for having little to no grind, and now all of a sudden it has a maximum First Descendant or Warframe like grind. Well, not the same, but people get the point of where I'm going with this. It was too much of a drastic change, and the system is so slow and with crazy RNG. So we need to make this level again faster and less grindy, and more people will play the game, and those people will also play it way more, which is good for the player's sentiment, to your metrics, for everyone. So, on top of the random prime engrams for the people in the last 50 levels, also give them a consistent +1 drop. That way, players will feel rewarded and have a better sentiment of progression, which will be also objectively faster. If players are at the exact maximum for 50, and it will be 550 in the next season, give some sources of actual guaranteed tier 5, no cap. If players are on those last 50 levels, they have hit the 400, or in the next case 500, just give an extreme high extra chance of tier 5. All these changes will make it rewarding, because players will kind of recover their time investment by gaining the loot then faster and better loot quality. So you will feel rewarded for your progression and you'll like receive your time back, so to say. In general, just make the level also faster. Remove the nerfs you are making to solo ops drops, keep whatever buffs, or just even set up a new minimum and buff everything to that number of drops in general. We need this faster, we need to rain loot. We are in the new era of the game. Aside from that, you could even add a special extra drop that's a prime or that's a tiered loot, a high tier loot or something, for the first completion of everything in Portal. Or at least have multiple random things per week with this mechanic, and players will just complete one of each one time on that week per character. This will give us a bunch of loot, will make all the activities feel alive, going to your metrics, whatever, and players will also have a better sentiment and not be doing just the same thing 800 times. So again, it's fairly easy. Make like 4 random solo ops, 3 random pinnacles, 5 or 6 random fireteam ops, and all those things will award this special extra big piece of loot that's a guaranteed prime or has a chance to be a tier 5 or whatever on the first completion of each of those things per week. If possible, instead of some random things, make it for everything, literally. And yeah, that's the idea. That's really good, or at least make that happen week yes, week no. I don't know, but make something like that. Raids and dungeons. Give us an extra drop that's gear from outside of the raid or dungeon. This gear would be from the current season or from the current destination Kepler, doesn't matter, either or, and it's a +1 drop to players maximum power level. Just a +1 drop. And you can either put it in all raids and all dungeons, or in some featured ones per week, like 2 or 3 raids and 2 or 3 dungeons. And this drop could be at the final boss or in all encounters a random chance of dropping it. This will make players play those activities more and be rewarded to play the end game. Because it makes no sense to not have incentives or loot for this type of activities. Okay? And you don't need to spend money, you don't need to change their loot. For now it would be a workaround, it's just an extra piece of gear that's from outside of the raid or dungeon, and it's a +1 drop. Let players play how they want, because before Age of Fate some players would just play PvP, others like me would just play the pinnacle raids in all 3 characters, others would play a mix of everything, and now we have no agency. You promised that with Portal we would have player agency, but it's the exact opposite. We can play what we want, we play what you tell us. That should not be the case. So this extra +1 drop in raids and dungeons would be the fantastic perfect idea. I know that, and by the way, you could also add an extra other drop for a fresh clear. That would be great as well. And I know that you're adding some of these extra drop mechanics to the new raid on normal and epic versions, but on those give us even more drops. Literally make it rain loot, like it's those games like Diablo and whatever, where you like finish the encounter, open the chest, and you see the ground full of stuff, materials, gear, whatever. Then we dismantle all that gear for even more materials. And if the loot rains literally that hard, maybe add an option of no loot, just 1 core per encounter to help speedrunners avoid bugs and lag. Maybe that's already too much asking, but would be a great idea as well. Anyway, master raids, make them also rain loot, at least it works for cosmetics. Make them drop random armor from all these new types of armor that are tiered. Put it in there as a random extra drop on top of the normal things from the raid. And make it rain random tier 1 through 5 loot on the master raids. That would be amazing. Now, this is also a mythic sci-fi game or whatever. We have prehistorical stuff, we have future, we have everything. I love Destiny, it's a fantastic game. Unique on of its genre, sure. But at the end of the day, it's also considered a shooter looter, and especially now with all this new stuff and things. So at this point we need more vault space. I know that an optimized player who even does solos, low man speeds and things not necessarily promoted by the game can still manage the vault we have, but the average Joe doesn't need to take a course on advanced Excel and big calculations. People just want to log in, hoard a bunch of loot, sometimes delete some, keep another, and with all these new things and tiers, players will go crazy with it. So this 700 space is just, it doesn't cut it. Increase it to at least 1k. That's the bare minimum. Ideally, go all the way anywhere up to 2k, but at least increase it, those 300 slots, to 1k minimum. Portal stuff. I know that it's a long process, we already know it since about 2 years pre-portal, that it's an ongoing thing with phases, but yeah, we need the other stuff there, and we also need Kepler in destinations, or at least the raid. We really need to make that happen. Avant-Garde, Touché, Locked Loadout, those 3 things should just be removed from the game, or at least give us more options to be able to avoid that, not to promote that. That's just annoying, it's artificial difficulty, and it's contrary to its supposed purpose. removes us the ability of playing different things, different builds, loadouts, different items, adapting for the situation. It just becomes annoying. And for actual level farmers, it kind of forces you to play Hunter, because then you have movement on Prismatic, versus Warlock or Titan, where you can tot swap movement exotics and then the combat exotics, if that makes sense. So this is just limiting players instead of being a fresh thing. It's not making you play the new stuff, it's just limiting you. Also, Guardian rank, using new gear and using max level gear. Those three factors should not affect drops and loot. I think you should really remove these three conditions. Tournaments for solo speedruns and moments. Not that many people play or watch this, but you should still give more more speech, more voice, and promote the creators and channels who do these things, and even create some of them by your own. Consult high tier players like Aegis and others, and make those competitions, even with no rewards or just some silver, whatever. Make it happen. You need to gain players' trust, and this would be a perfect way to do it. I don't need to explain why, it's obvious, but just make it happen. Like it involves psychological factors, it involves many things, but just find these ways to engage with the community. Contest trades. We should have a thing called the Celebration Week. So usually a contest trade comes after a new season, expansion, DLC, whatever, right? You have the new thing, then soon after, somewhere in time, the contest trade happens, and post contest trade, on Tuesday reset to start the new week, or that, or the other week after, we should have a thing called the Celebration Week, where we would have amazing extra loot. So just extra random loot that could drop out of nowhere, and this loot could be any tier, tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, doesn't matter the player level, even for free to play, for everyone. Just need to be 200 level to make it fair, just the base 200. And this loot would appear in two places: open world patrol zones and or raids and dungeons. I wanna go into open world patrol zones and see everyone playing around, having fun, see multiple people. Because not everyone play contest, but I want the casual Andies to be asking around when it's the next day one, when it's the next contest. Because they want to watch the race, they want to feel like they are a part of it, and participate in the celebration week afterwards, meet the best players, and gain a bunch of loot for free. Make this and you will achieve your metrics, players will buy more cosmetics, community sentiment grows better. You can have situations where it's a win-win for both sides and the community will be engaged. So even the most casual Andy will be more than happy for that one day of the year contest mode, because they will feel like they are a part of it and they are gaining something from out of it, that free loot. And then you would just go into a patrol zone, kill enemies, do patrols, public events, chests, events, wanted enemies, anything really. And you'd see loot dropping everywhere. Massive loot on the ground, massive loot, with the chance of tier 4s and 5s. This would be the most fantastic thing you could ever do, really. Now, literally, we have the means and the perfect base to not only be good, but the best game out there. I'll ask you to just don't mess up the raids. You are doing God's work, except for the not swap, but all the other extra loot mechanics and epic raid and feats and the replayability is fantastic. I know people who are playing every day, night and day, or the time they can, just with the raids. My recent time in Destiny is just a raid also. 3-man, flawless, 5 fates, whatever. This raid has so much replayability and it's also one of the best raids ever. I really freaking love it. Okay? So keep doing the God's work there, but we need to make it better on literally everything else. In general, again, make the game less grindy, faster to achieve levels, and give loot. Reward players. Make them want to log in. Keyword want to. So, because don't say you're listening when that tweet shows us the exact opposite. We have like 30k players where you used to have above 100 daily, and this can't happen. I don't know if you have a Scrum or Agile person, but get someone that's kind of like that, but also a gamer, and consult them 2 times per year. Men will do it for cheap, and you get solid ideas. So overall, Bungie, thank you for making one of the best games that I've ever loved. But now, let's actually fix some of this stuff and climb the numbers again to be the #1 game, okay? So please, good luck, Bungie, and best regards by the client and by a friend. Guardian, I hope you agree to some of these points, and as always, take care of yourself because you are worth it.